Here we are back in the shop, and today we have this Dish Network DVR. That's right, for all you guys. You used to plug this in. You didn't want to miss a big game. You'd hit record while you're at work. You'd come home. You'd be able to do it as long as your friends did not spoil the outcome. That's right. So let's crack into it and see how much gold is inside. And as always, right off the bat, hey, check out this card. You find these cards everywhere, and I tell you what, that's free gold all day long. I don't care who you are. All right, so right off the bat, you got a cord right here. That's right, it found in the wild with the cord. You don't find that a lot. A lot of people clip them off. But I tell you what, you clip them, you save them. They're a bonus. You don't get rid of them. You find a better pair of pliers than what I'm using right here. That's right. And you throw them in your insulated number 2 wire and talk to your scrapyard and find out what they'll give you for it. You usually have these antennas. That's how they transmit it. These nuts on these barrel connectors got to come off. That's right, they're everywhere and they are annoying, and if you don't get them off, they're going to stand in your way of getting that board out of there. All right, so now you're going to see screws back here. They're dotted all over the boards. You find them in all your electronics. Just take them out, get them out of there, get them out of your way, throw them in your microwaves, do whatever you're going to do with them. So here we have the front of the DVR. That's right, this guy came an upgraded model. If you look right there, there has power buttons, reset, and everything you need, all the selection buttons, so that when you lose those pesky remotes, you can still run your DVR and watch your game. That's right, or whatever, soap opera, or whatever you guys are into. Hey, I don't judge. But there's a USB right there, and that's going to have some gold. And the older electronics, the better the gold's going to be in there. So that's super great. They do add up, they exist, and they're there. We're going to get this metal case off the back here. It should actually lift up. All right, so we got that hard drive carriage right here. It usually has a fan hooked up to it. That fan, you can go and snap the stuff off. We'll take care of that later. Here's the hard drive, and we'll look at that at the end of the video. But look at this main board. This main board actually shows quite a promise. There's that socket we were talking about, or port or whatever, and look, there's going to be some gold plated little fingers right there. Very thin, but it's there. It does exist. And hey, there's going to be a Broadcom BGA right there. So we're going to get this board out for you guys, and let's get this thing depopulated. We'll throw it in that oven. We're going to get this depopulated, put this all together for you guys to see exactly what is on this board. All right, so we got that main board cleaned off. What do I mean by cleaned off? Well, all these capacitors right here, yeah, they come in all different sizes. They have goo inside of them, and you don't want them popping inside of your oven when you go to depopulate it. So we took all of those off we can find. You may miss one, but you get off all you can. That's right, there's a few more right here that I'm going to take off as soon as I put you guys down. But hey, we're also going to snip-a-do this board up in a creative way so it'll fit better in that oven. I have wrangled off these plastic connectors because you don't want them to melt. These guys will come off super easy and nice, and let's get to it. All right, and everybody asks me how I get this apart. Well, I tell you what, I just find a nice little natural spot, clean it off, make sure there's nothing important along that line. I notch each edge, and I just bend it and snap it. It'll snap pretty easy. Make sure you guys got your gloves on when you do it, but then it's going to fit inside that oven over there. And that's right, easy as baking a cake. You put that on 450, turn it on bake, put it on stay on, and that's right, you give it a minute or two, wait for it to get all melty. Make sure you guys are doing this in a ventilated area, and as soon as that sucker dings, we'll have that board cleaned off in no time. Everybody's like, where's the gold? Well, check it out first. You got a bunch of copper number 2. Don't pass this stuff up, guys. You see the little copper donuts, Tolaroid, whatever you guys want to call them. You whack it with a hammer, and there you go. You take the little poles out of the center there. They just break up with a pair of pliers, and there you are. That's copper number 2. You sell it or you melt it all day long. These guys, you'll see them everywhere. These are pretty easy to get into. Again, you snap them open and you go, and you peel off the copper number 2 wire. People like that to melt it because it's really nice, clean copper. Some of this stuff will have some material on it for all you guys that are interested in melting it. That might not be your choice of copper. What about this fan? Well, this fan, a lot of scrap yards are not going to take that fan for much of nothing, but I tell you what, you clip off that wire, lose that plastic, lose those fins, that becomes copper bearing material. You can talk to your yard, and that's a way you can get a little more money out of this scrap material, along with that insulated number 2 wire. Yeah, I don't clip the ends off. My yard will take it with the ends on there, and it adds to the weight. It doesn't make sense for me in my area to do that. A lot of people will take that brass. Yes, that's brass right on the end. They will take that. Absolutely. You guys get your scrap and make the most out of your value that you can. What else do we see around here? Well, we still got some more things. Hey, we got some more stuff and activities. That's right, it's everywhere. So we got this, and if you listen, that's right, everybody likes to click these switches. That's tactile switches. So they have a little daub of silver in them. Some of them actually have gold inside. Yeah, I know, they're there, they do exist. Right here was a ribbon cable actually, and in fact the ribbon cable So it happens to be right here. And all those pins that were in the ribbon cable are still in the connector. I could pop that off and those will have gold in it. I didn't think any of this was going to be gold besides just the silver in there. And the LEDs are beautiful. And yes, all these will have a little form of gold hair right inside there. See that little hair in the center of your screen? That's going to be a little bit of gold. So, yeah, don't pass up your LEDs, guys. Don't do it. You got clear LEDs right here, and in fact, you can see the gold all that much better. Look at that gold hair right inside that LED. It's there, it exists, and I don't get rid of it. A lot of people pass them up, but I don't, and I'm leaving this shot in here so you guys can see that it actually exists. What else? Well, I was surprised. I came across a nice set of gold pins right there. They go all the way down to the board, but they don't go all the way through the board, so I'm going to use my flush cutters, and I'm going to cut them guys off, and there's going to be some gold inside of that connector. You can see it down the barrel right there. Yeah, that's gold in there. That's not copper. That's gold plate. Why did they do that? Because they need to make the connections. That's right. So that little board right there that you even passed by has its own free gold. Man, and it's not a lot, but hey, it's there. It does exist. So what else do we got? Well, we got the MOSFETs. The MOSFETs, a lot of these, this is a 4-line inline package. Some kind, it's not necessarily a MOSFET. MOSFET are these guys. You'll see them all over the place, especially attached to heat sinks. These are actually going to have quite a bit of copper. They'll have some silver inside of them. You can take them to your scrapyard. Make sure you take them off your extruded aluminum. That's right. This is extruded aluminum. It's not a type of aluminum. It's a grade of aluminum. But yes, it's there. And if it looks like it's been pushed through a die, then it's worth more than pop cans. Don't get rid of it at pop can price. You go in, you bring it to your scrapyard, you ask them how much, they'll say 5 cents. You laugh, they laughed, and you talk about what they're really going to give you for it. So let's start moving up in value here. That's right. We're cruising on down that track. We got the silver train right here. Okay, so this is silver. These are ceramic disc capacitors. There's a lot of argument about whether they do or they don't have silver. I found myself that the older it is, the more likely the chance that it will have silver in it. So I don't pass them up. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors of the rainbow, and I keep them for sure. Here's some more over here, and here's a square guy. I'm not sure exactly what that one is, so if anybody can give me information on that guy right there, that would be great. There's a number for you guys, tilted sideways. And yeah, and we got a couple more. We got a couple more little capacitors. I'm thinking those are going to be tantalum capacitors. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know a lot look like that, but hey, when I come across certain ones that only have 2 legs on them and they have C on the board, I throw them in my capacitors. Well, we're moving on up again. Another step. Hey, these are BGAs. These BGAs are super nice, and if you look, there's even showing gold underneath of them. Every one of those dots represents a gold wire that goes to the center of the die. That's right. So all these ones have gold, and in fact, they have more gold per pound or kilo than these guys right here. These guys are IC chips. Yep, every one of those legs you see represents a gold bond wire. And those Broadcom BGAs and those Broadcom ICs, man, you can't beat them. This guy's chances are going to be a flip chip, but I tell you what, there may be something underneath of here. Otherwise, this heat sink is copper. You just clean it up, and yes, it's copper, but I doubt there's going to be a lot of stuff underneath there. We'll have to explore those flip chips later. But what else do we got? Well, we got connectors. Those connectors for the hard drives sure do have some gold in it, especially the connectors on the wires themselves as well. Don't get rid of them. I cut them off. In fact, you can see it right here. I think I accidentally broke it, but hey, there's gold right there. They go on my connector ends. Cut them off. That's some more insulated copper number 2 wire for your pile. That's right. What else do we got? Well, we got our rando. Yeah, I know. I end up with some random stuff, and hey, these are all little IC chips, and there's some transistors in there. And I'm willing to bet they're all going to have a little form of precious metal, one side or another. I'm not sure what those guys are. I think they're a fuse. I think they may actually be a silver fuse in there. I don't know. I've seen some on a couple of my buddies' channels that I go check out, and I may learn some more about that. And I know you guys are seeing in the corner down there. What are you checking out? Yeah, that's gold. Those are those little gold fingers that we found. I found some rando gold pins that did exist inside this machine, and there's that chip card right there. That's right, that sucker does exist. It's there. It's thin gold, but I tell you what, it has an IC chip underneath of there. It goes in my process nonetheless, and it is free. And we also have some photosensitive diodes. You'll see them on the board in black and white, and I haven't seen any other colors yet, but they come in a 4-leg package, and they control the power going from one side of the board to the other. Yes, they're going to be akin to those LEDs I was talking about and have a little hair of gold inside of them. So if you're already at this point, don't pass them up. Don't get rid of them. We're not really sure what these guys are as of yet, but I tell you what, I'm sure somebody's going to hit up the comments and let me know. So that brings us to everybody's favorite. Yeah, that's right. Those silver crystal oscillators. Everybody sees them everywhere. Everybody wants them. They're so easily identifiable, but they're so hard to get into. They're so hard to get into, those guys there. But I tell you what, I keep them anyways. Why? Because you're already here. You already have the machine cracked open. You're already trying to figure out what its value is. So I tell you what, guys, that hard drive is a 500 gig hard drive. I'm not going to mess with that sucker right now. That's what's inside of a DVR. There is gold. Don't pass it up. There's silver. There's so many opportunities, so many activities, so many things to be done. That's right. So I tell you guys what, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Hey, for all my subscribers, thank you guys very much for hanging out and stumbling through all of this with me. It's been a crazy ride. And for my wife, I love you. And for my kids, go wash your face.